Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. The day Kristina Wagner chose to speak out was described as bittersweet, a word that holds 1,000 conflicting emotions at once. When she shared her message, it resonated far beyond the world of General Hospital or longtime viewers of her work. It touched anyone who has ever experienced loss, anyone who has ever carried grief that feels too heavy to name, and anyone who has ever discovered that remembering a loved one can be a powerful mixture of warmth and pain. For Kristina, the memory of her late son is a place she returns to with both love and an ache that feels carved into her very being. Her words, "Grief is a solitary issue that I can't face alone," were not only honest but profoundly human. And as she opened her heart, she allowed countless others to recognize themselves in her story. Kristina Wagner lost her son Harrison in 2022. His passing left a hole that no parent is ever prepared for, and in the time since, she has spoken about him with tenderness, authenticity, and the vulnerability of someone learning how to live with an absence that will never fully heal. When she marked this particular day, one that carried the weight of memories, she shared a message that walked the delicate line between honoring him and admitting how deeply the grief still sits with her. She called the day bittersweet because, in remembering her son, she also remembers the joy he brought, the laughter, the moments that felt eternal, and the heartbreaking reminder that those moments now exist only in memory. Her honesty is not performative. It's the kind that slips through in every word from someone who wakes up each day still trying to understand how to live with the impossible. She described grief as solitary, and that is a profound truth many feel but struggle to articulate. Grief often isolates, not because people want to withdraw, but because no one else can fully occupy the emotional landscape that belongs uniquely to the one who lost someone. Friends can offer comfort, and family can sit beside you, but the experience of losing a child becomes an internal world that no one else truly accesses. Yet when Kristina says she can't face it alone, she speaks to the complexity of mourning. It is solitary on the inside, but unbearable without support on the outside. It is both private and communal. It demands personal strength but also demands presence from those willing to walk beside you, even if they can't walk inside the pain with you. When people think of actors or public figures, they sometimes imagine that grief looks different for them, softened by resources or visibility, or the support of countless fans. But grief does not care about status. It does not care about career or recognition. It arrives with the same force for everyone, and when Kristina opens up about her loss, she dismantles the distance people sometimes feel between their own suffering and the pain of someone in the spotlight. She reminds us that the human experience, especially the hardest parts of it, is shared more deeply than we think. In her message, there was also a sense of searching, a desire to navigate the ongoing journey of healing without pretending the road is straight or predictable. She acknowledged that grief changes over time, not by lessening the love for the person lost, but by reshaping the way the heart carries that love forward. She spoke with the awareness that healing is not a final destination. Instead, it is a continual process of learning, remembering, breaking, and rebuilding. Some days feel lighter, almost peaceful. Others feel like the wound has opened again. And the bittersweet days, the ones tied to anniversaries, birthdays, milestones, or even small, unexpected reminders, often stir emotions that are hard to categorize because they hold both gratitude and sorrow at once. Kristina has always been admired for her strength and authenticity, but in moments like this, her strength is not defined by endurance alone. It is defined by honesty. Not the polished kind, but the honest truth of someone who has cried, questioned, reflected, and still wakes up willing to love fiercely despite the risk of heartbreak. She has shared that remembering her son is part of what helps her move forward, even when the memories trigger pain. For her, remembrance is not reopening the wound. It is keeping alive the connection that lives beyond physical presence. She has also spoken in the past about how grief affects identity. Losing a child fundamentally alters a person's sense of self. Parents build their identity in part through their children, through the roles they play, the bonds they nurture, the dreams they watch unfold. When a child dies, those internal structures shift, often dramatically. Kristina's openness about this shift is a reminder that healing isn't just emotional, it's existential. It changes the way a person sees the world, their priorities, and even their understanding of time. The future becomes something different, shaped by what was lost but also by what still remains. One of the most powerful elements of her message is the recognition that grief needs others. Even though the internal experience is deeply personal, healing requires connection. She acknowledged that she cannot face grief alone, and that vulnerability is something many people struggle to admit. There is a societal expectation to appear strong, composed, resilient, especially after enough time has passed that others think the grieving should have moved on. But grief does not follow a timeline. It doesn't stop because others expect it to. And when Kristina says she needs support, she gives permission for others to say the same. She normalizes the ongoing nature of mourning and encourages a culture where asking for help is not seen as weakness, but as a necessary act of courage. The bittersweet days are often the ones that challenge people the most. They hold cherished memories, but they also amplify the absence. On those days, a single photo, a song, a place, or even the feeling of a particular season can transport someone back to moments both beautiful and painful. Kristina's willingness to share a glimpse of her heart on such a day shows that remembrance is not something to be hidden. It is something to be honored. She invites others to acknowledge their own bittersweet moments and to embrace them without shame or fear. She shows that love persists even when the person is gone, and that honoring that love is one of the ways healing continues. Her reflections also highlight the duality of grieving someone who is deeply loved. One emotion does not cancel out another. You can feel gratitude for the time shared and anguish for the time lost. You can be surrounded by people and still feel profoundly alone in your grief. You can find moments of joy while still carrying sorrow in your chest. This duality does not mean a person is conflicted. It means they are human. Kristina gives voice to this complexity in a way that resonates far beyond her personal story. The message she shared struck a chord with many because it is grounded in truth, not platitudes. She did not present herself as someone who has mastered grief. Instead, she presented herself as someone who is living with it, learning from it, and finding strength in vulnerability. And that honesty allows others to feel less isolated in their own experiences. Grief can feel like an island, but hearing someone speak openly about it builds bridges, quiet, emotional connections that remind people they are not drifting alone. As she remembers her son, she keeps alive not just the memory of who he was, but the love she continues to hold. That love does not disappear with time. It evolves, deepens, and sometimes aches more sharply on certain days. But it also fuels hope, resilience, and a desire to keep moving forward. Her message shows that even in profound sorrow, love remains the guiding force. It leads people through grief, even when the path is unclear. By calling the day bittersweet, she acknowledged that life after loss contains multitudes. It is possible to feel joy again, to laugh, to find meaning, and to rebuild. But it is also natural to revisit the pain, to cry unexpectedly, or to feel overwhelmed by memories. The coexistence of these feelings is not a sign of failure in healing. It is the true shape of healing itself. When Kristina Wagner shares her heart, she does so with a courage that gives others permission to explore their own emotions. Her reflection that grief is solitary but impossible to face alone is a profound reminder of the balance needed to heal, solitude for personal processing and connection for emotional support. She has shown that vulnerability is not a burden but a bridge. Her message stands as an offering of compassion to anyone who is grieving, and in remembering her son so openly, she keeps his spirit present in the world, ensuring he is not forgotten. Not by her, not by those who loved him, and not by those who understand her grief because they have lived something like it themselves. Her voice carries the message that healing is not about erasing pain. It is about learning to live with love and loss intertwined. And on a bittersweet day, when memories feel especially vivid, she allows herself and others to feel everything without apology. In doing so, she reminds us that grief, as heavy as it is also a testament to love. The deeper the love, the deeper the grief, and the more important it becomes to carry both with honesty and community. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.